They do all that taxing, I still come up with them raps. They do all that cap that nobody ever attacked. I collect all of the bread, they go after all of the crumbs.
How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody doing good. This is Andy on Ask Your Brown Friend. I thank y'all for tuning in, joining me, especially subscribing. And if you are new to the channel, I appreciate you being a first timer. Thank you for coming through. Just to get everybody warmed up to the basics, I answer questions, from the various platforms that I have, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, people in my regular life, as well as I talk about situations that I end up getting myself into and also getting myself out of, and just, stories. So, that's the basics. So, today, I was talking to a colleague, a very, very interesting man. He goes by the Chicken Hawk. He's on. He's a YouTube follower, and I was talking to him, and an interesting question came up as we were conversating. Now we're going back and forth, trading information, and the Chicken Hawk goes, "Listen, check this out." I go, "What?" He goes, "Well, I know you like to talk shit." I go, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." I consider myself the king of talking shit, other than Don King. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I believe it." I said, "All right, well, what you got?" He says, "Well, Andy, how about this?" And he gives me a name to a person. And I go, instantly, the little mouse on the wheel starts running around, rampant as usual. And he tells me this name, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a Mexican." And he's like, "Well, no." And I'm like, "What?" That name is a Mexican-derived or a Latino-derived name. And he goes, "Yeah, the name is, but the person is not." And I'm like, "What?" So he explains to me, and I'm pretty sure a few of you guys out there in the YouTube world can co-sign on this, that he has a relative that appears like Snow White. Beautiful individual. But their name, if you read it, would appear like it came from Spanish descent. And I was like, okay. But then when we start doing the doing the background on this individual, he goes, "Listen to this. Her mom's light skin and her dad is brown skin." I said, "Okay." He goes, listen. Because I like to be straight up and down, Andy. I'm not like you. I'm going to just give it to you. I was like, "All right, well, give it to me. Give it to me, Chicken Hawk." He goes, "Her mom's white and her dad's Mexican." I go, "Okay, cool. So she's an other." There's nothing wrong with being an other. 90% of us in the world are an other. There are no pure bloods among us. And I was like, damn, you're right. She does look very light-skinned. And, that prompted me to the question of, what is your ethnicity? Mine's, I'm going to have to say, mine's is other, because my dad's family comes from another place, and I know my mom's family comes from somewhere down south, but I know they're not African American. I know they're mixed with something else. They're not just mixed with your average African Americans. And I'm like, okay, so technically, like I tell people, I'm brown. You know what I mean? So when I go, well, when you fill out information, I check the other box and I put brown. Some people tell you your ethnicity is based on whatever your father is, and that's what I thought for the longest time. My dad being from somewhere different, I always put down other. And I happen to have a relative who has a light-skinned dad, aka he's white, and the mom is brown-skinned, aka, as people would say, black. Y'all know I don't like saying this shit, but I got to just clarify it just so we're all on the same page. So I got a relative, has a white dad and a black mom, and I would think that she would be considered white because that's what she looks like. No, you ask her, she puts brown, and I'm like, that's what's up. So as I'm going through and I'm thinking about this question, I asked the Chicken Hawk, and I go, what Chicken Hawk? Well, your relatives gotta be Mexican, right? He's like, no. she checked the Caucasian box. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, I thought your ethnicity was based on, what your mom is. And I go, I thought your ethnicity was based on what your dad is. And then I heard one person, they threw the wrench in the game on me. They go, well, can your ethnicity be with whatever you identify with? I go, ooh, damn. So, to be honest with you guys, I don't have a solid answer on what anybody's ethnicity is. I'm going to have to lean with your ethnicity is whatever you feel comfortable with identifying with. Me, I'm brown. I identify as brown. It is what it is. But if anybody has anything extra to add, please put it in the comment section. Enlighten me. Get me together. You know what I mean? Me and the chicken hawk. Because I don't want to be the only person, getting educated. And so that was the first one. Now, the second one, you guys, now this is a good one. I was talking to one of my guys on Twitter. We're going to call him the Professor. I know I said, I was going to stop mentioning people's screen name. That one particular person did not want me to mention their screen name. These people, I'm not mentioning their screen names, just so everybody knows. I'm kind of working on the fly. I'm just kind of going what I call them whenever we're talking in person, when I'm talking with these people in person. So, like I was saying, I'm talking to the Professor, right? Smart dude. So I'm like, Professor, what's going on? He's like, yo, Andy, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm like, yeah, man, what's about, how's your weekend? He's like, yeah, well, let me tell you about my weekend, buddy. So I'm like, go ahead. He goes, so listen to this. I go, all right. And he started to get a little upset as he was talking. I was like, whoa. I like when I see my light-skinned dudes get a little upset because they start turning into the color-changing clique. Them boys that turn red, some parts of fuchsia, some parts of pink on you. You can tell. Fired up. So I was talking to the Professor. He goes, Andy, I had an incident happen at my house. I said, well, dude, is everything okay? He goes, yeah. He goes, a drunk guy showed up at my house knocking on the dang door. I told him, get out of here, go away. I'm like, yeah, go away, get out of here. And I go, was this a light-skinned person? He goes, yeah, it was. I said, okay, all right, no problem here, bud. He goes, so I called the cops because the guy just, he was drunk, he just wouldn't leave. I said, all right. He goes, Andy, the cops were out there talking to this man for about 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, did they end up arresting the guy? He said, oh yeah, they end up arresting him, because they're trying to help the guy. And they're just basically explaining, like, listen, this isn't your home. You don't have any identification that you're willing to, give us. You're being kind of loud, we're asked you several times, either move along or we're going to have to detain you. So, as I'm listening to the Professor talk, he gets pissed off and he goes, Andy, they were profiling the guy. And as I'm sitting there thinking, being brown, I'm like, damn, so they did something wrong to this dude? That's what I'm thinking in my mind, right? And the police did something wrong to this dude? Damn, the police always doing something to somebody. And that's the first thing out of my mouth. Damn, the police always doing something to somebody. And he goes, no, Andy, you're missing it. And I was like, what do you mean, Professor? Well, what am I missing? He goes, listen, buddy, and I'm going to clear everybody up because he cleared me up, and I want to make sure we're all on the same page from here on out. So, as I'm talking to the Professor, he goes, yeah, the police were profiling this light-skinned guy. And I was like, explain. He goes, because the police talked to this man for about 20 minutes, and they gave this man every opportunity in the world to try to figure out where he belongs. And they said because he appeared a certain color or ethnicity, they gave him more of a chance to make sure that he was in the right place, because he could have not been in the right place, and they just want to make sure. So I'm like, okay, well, they're doing their best to make sure that, they're making sure they're not arresting somebody that lives in the neighborhood, possibly. He goes, no, Andy, you think they would have took that type of care or asked that many questions to somebody that were light-skinned? And I'm like, well, they did do that to somebody that was light-skinned. He goes, no, I'm sorry. He got me all frustrated. I'm like, I don't got you frustrated. He goes, the whole situation does. I'm like, okay, calm down. And he goes, listen, seriously. He goes, on my background, for what he does for a living, he goes, do you think the police would have really taken their time and gave that much care, caution, or courtesy to someone that was brown skinned or darker skinned at 11 at night? And as I sat there and thought about it, I go, well, no, I don't think they would have. And that's sad, because you would think as people, somebody being lost or and need some help on their way, that we would do whatever we could to aid that individual as good people. You know, not even bringing religion into it, just as good people. And it's sad that in this day and age that people are still profiling each other, you know. And we do this in our daily lives, you know what I mean? I know I do. I'm not ashamed to admit it. When I see a new car in my neighborhood, you know, whether they're light-skinned or dark-skinned, the first thing I go, I've never seen that car before. One of my neighbors get a new car. I'm going to take note of that car. What color it was, what time I saw it, in case something happened, you know, stay vigilant. So we all kind of profile in our own way. But I do agree with the professor. I don't think that the police would have took that much care, caution, and courtesy if the person that they were having to deal with at that time of night would have been any darker than light. I think we need to just do better as a society with how we do people and approach people. You know, if somebody's in the wrong, they're in the wrong. If somebody's in the right, they're in the right. It doesn't matter about color. We all need to get past the foolishness of what somebody appears and get down to the root cause. Are they trying to hinder, hurt, or help? You know what I mean? Let's just get to the basics. Other than that, that's all the questions and situations I got so far. You know, I got some other questions that came in, but that's for another day, another time. So I want to let everybody know that air we breathe make us all related. So suck it up and head it. I'm Andy on Ask Your Brown Friend. I thank y'all for tuning in. You know, definitely stay tuned. And if today was your first time checking me out, please subscribe, tell your friends, repost, share. Take care, y'all.